We have missed Professor Dr. Hasan İbicioğlu's speech. So finally, let me invite Professor Dr. Hasan İbicioğlu from Isparta Süleyman Demirel University. I think, okay, to make his final speech before we go for the boat trip. Ya, yani siz nasıl isterseniz öyle yapalım hocam. Siz burada konuşacaksınız. Siz burada konuşacaksınız.
Olur, buradan da olur ya.
Yani
Buradan bakarım.
Tamam. İsterseniz bir şey isterseniz siz başlayabilirsiniz. Ben açana kadar çünkü şey tanımıyor. Hala onu tanıyor. Siz başlayın.
Hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming from Süleyman Demirel University, rector of Süleyman Demirel University. I have been giving consultancies concerning entrepreneurship and institutionalization to the companies, to private companies. And I study management and organization. I think in this knowledge age, entrepreneurship is really a very important topic for all countries because of the fact that the development of all countries, economically or socially or technologically, depend on their entrepreneurship capability. If a country cannot canalize their individuals or potential of entrepreneurship to economic or other sectors, I think in the world it will be really very difficult for all companies to get absolute advantage. For that reason, as all we know, particularly European countries thought that why they lost their advantage, economic advantage, when it's compared to the Japan or American economy, because they lost their innovation reflections. For that reason, as all we know, European countries started to applying Bologna processes in higher education because they thought that we have been educating lots of students in our universities, but when they graduate from these universities, there are lack of innovative features, innovative capabilities, or entrepreneurship capabilities. For that reason, even if they get lots of theoretical knowledge in the university, that will not contribute their advantage or their career or economic success. For that reason, every country is not now aware of the entrepreneurial mentality and raising awareness of entrepreneurship among their university students. For that reason, I think we have to focus on how we can improve our students' entrepreneurship capabilities. Now, this is one of the leading philosophers of management, Peter Drucker. He said that is the entrepreneurial mystic. I mean, is it a magic or? But as all we know, it's not mysterious. and it has nothing to do with the genes. I mean, everybody can become an entrepreneur if they focus, or if they get knowledge, or if they have mentality concerning entrepreneurship. So it's a discipline, and like any other discipline, entrepreneurship can be learned, of course. But particularly in European and Turkish universities, as all we know, I think there is an understanding problem, or there is a misunderstanding in higher education, because we generally want all students, for example, to attend universities. If someone is a student, we say that it's compulsory for you to attend the university, but if we want these students have entrepreneurship features, if they attend the university all the time for 4 years, how they will be able to apply their theoretical knowledge to the private sector? So we have to think on this topic. We know there are some entrepreneurs, for example, Facebook, Michael Zuckerberg, Microsoft, Bill Gates, and Apple, Steve Jobs, Google, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. And if we study their life, we can easily understand that they are not, how can I say, they all don't have extraordinary intelligence, but there is only a principle that we can say, that is, they focus on a topic. This is the reality. So, characteristic, if we define the characteristics of entrepreneur, they are proactive, they have leadership skills, they are really so motivated, they have self-confidence, and they always look for new opportunities. And they able to turn these opportunities or these skills into their knowledge, into their job, into their work. And they are ready to run risk. According to a study, generally, the children of businessmen think to become entrepreneur. But the children of government employees generally think to get higher careers in public institutions. So, which means that this is a mentality. This is a matter of focus, and this is a matter of having philosophy on becoming entrepreneur. Now, Steve Jobs' entrepreneurship secrets. Do what you love, put a dent in the universe, kickstart your brain, sell dreams, not products, say no to 1,000 things, create insanely great experience, master the message. So, what's formal? Innovation, entrepreneurship, establishing our own business, which means entrepreneurship. We need to change entrepreneurship mentality. As I mentioned in the beginning of the speech, it's not gene or it's not a magic, but it's a matter of focusing on a topic with some principles. Entrepreneurship, being entrepreneur, is a matter of mentality and philosophy. In a country, if you have this mentality, of course, as a leading institutions, as leading institutions, universities or higher education institutions are really very important to put forward this philosophy, to implement this philosophy. If you have entrepreneurs, which means that it will not difficult for you to get natural resources from different countries, but what the important is to have entrepreneurship features, individuals or citizens. For that reason, we should have leading philosophy in spreading entrepreneur philosophy in all over the country or all over the world. So we need to change entrepreneurship mentality. We need to increase entrepreneurship awareness level in this new mentality. So what can we do for this purpose? Firstly, recognize entrepreneurship education and training as a key enabler in developing the attitudes and characteristics in young women and men, so they may be entrepreneurs throughout their lives. Second, add entrepreneurship lessons to high school curriculum. As a rector of a Turkish university elected a year ago, we are planning of putting entrepreneurship courses to all faculties curriculums. Because suppose you're attending, for example, agriculture faculty, if you don't have entrepreneurial mentality, even if there are lots of opportunities concerning your sector, even if you graduate from this faculty, you will not be aware of all these opportunities. If we generate these misunderstanding to all over the country, which means that all sectors will not get contribution from any kind of opportunities because of they are not aware of these opportunities. If they have employee mentality or government employee mentality, which means that even if there are lots of opportunities, they'll keep on working for a month and they'll dream of taking salary after a month. So they will not think to use their potential, or they will not think setting up a new company, their own company, to gain much more money. For that reason, I think putting entrepreneurship courses to faculty curriculum is really very important. And add entrepreneurship lesson to the primary schools. And I think in Turkey or in the world, if you think that we get the maybe 70% of individuality or personality, after we were born, which means that we can learn entrepreneurship. For that reason, that should be a habit, and we should begin during primary school. So, from the beginning of primary school till you come to, let's suppose, 50 years old, and as all we know, a person, step by step, particularly after 40 years old, people generally do not want to take risk. So, if you did not take risk till 40 years old or 30 years old, which means that after 30 or 40 years old, even if you get entrepreneurship mentality, you will not be able to realize your dreams, because you will think that, oh, I came to 50s, So, which means that I'll keep on living maybe 20 or 30 years. So, instead of, what should I do money after this age? So, we have to give entrepreneurship mentality during primary school to our children. This is really very important. And increasing and changing the number and content of entrepreneurship classes or faculties other than business administration faculties. Of course, we shouldn't think that entrepreneurship skills or qualifications are only given in business administration faculties. There are lots of people who graduated from different faculties, but they are entrepreneurs, and they have entrepreneurship qualifications and skills. So we cannot suppose that only the business administration graduated people can make investment. There are lots of investment opportunities in different areas. For that reason, we have to give this mentality and philosophy to all faculty students, and changing the content of enterprises and entrepreneurship classes, and institutionalize funding the entrepreneurship education and training by making it regular part of the budgetary process of the Ministry of Education. I think we all agree in this sense. Equip teachers with interactive and participatory learning methodologies, so then they contribute to entrepreneurship education and training. Yeah, this is really a very important problem for professors. They generally, for example, teach some courses, but they even don't know how to apply what they are teaching. This is really very big and important problem for European and Turkish university professors. They teach something, but they don't know how to do it. For example, suppose an engineer, suppose a business or any other kind of professors concerning these disciplines. You know, you teach how to swim, but you don't know. You teach how to swim, but you never swam in your life. This is really a very big problem, a very big dilemma for professors. We have to educate the professors, I think, first of all, because they don't know how to make investment. They don't have entrepreneurship mentality. So how they will be able to give this mentality to their students? And adopt action learning methodologies like learning. All right, I have 5 minutes. I have lots of things to tell, but anyway. You know, there is an idiom in Turkish literature. Too much words are told to idiots. So we have to talk briefly, I think, for that reason. He warned me not to talk too so long. And adopt action, learning methodologies like learning by doing as an effective way to develop entrepreneurial mindset and skills. Importance of innovation as important source of new entrepreneurship can be explained to students by some conferences, congresses, and by other activities. That is really very important to make students imitate these role models. Because even if a professor teach or tell lots of stories concerning entrepreneurship, I think it's really much more effective telling of an entrepreneur to students than telling of a professor. This is really very important. So as Süleyman Demirel University, we invite a entrepreneurs from different countries to our universities a week, every week I mean. So, recognize entrepreneurship education and training as a key enabler in developing the attitudes and characteristics in young women. Active participation of university students for the entrepreneurship issues, yes. Virtual games and for finding and promoting new entrepreneurs, using case study, group discussions and role playing, using TV, internet, radio for increasing entrepreneurship awareness level of public by insisting on the importance of entrepreneurship for individuals and economy as a whole. Organize and link national, regional and local awareness campaigns to provide open communication and transparency among all stakeholders. So, these all principles are for spreading or indoctrinating the entrepreneurship mentality to all community. You might have lots of different natural resources. It's not a problem. And if you cannot evaluate, if you cannot canalize all these resources, it will not make you powerful economically. For that reason, having entrepreneurs is key factor of a country's economy. For that reason, in these days, this subject is taught in all over the world. Yes. Now, this is very important. Develop relevant material to reflect the local culture, gender balance, highlighting local examples and situations that promote sustainable enterprises and responsible workplace practices, in increasing the number of entrepreneurship competition projects and awards by universities, private sector, government and NGOs. This is really very important. By the way, for this activity, thank Fatih University, they are really achieving very important function today, because these kind of conferences will stimulate all universities, all community, all professors concerning thinking or concerning making exercises how to improve entrepreneurship mentalities in our country. But as Süleyman Demirel University, this year at June May 16, 17 and 18, we are organizing an entrepreneurship competition and will distribute 1 billion Turkish liras to some projects, to some project owners. So I think if we do this kind of activities, if we spread this kind of activities in all over the world, I think we'll develop or we'll improve our entrepreneurship mentality much more faster. For that reason, I'm inviting all of you to this project entrepreneurship competition. Involve international organizations, donor organizations, NGOs, private sector and foundations to provide funding for innovative pilot projects, programs and change. and even open a special university for potential entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship university or academy. In this concept, the cooperation of university and industry will be increased. Meeting with successful entrepreneurs will be a good role model for the university students. The students may work in common projects formed by the partnership of the university and industry together. Some faculties can be built in organized industrial zones. For example, technoparks can be used for this purpose. And what about changing higher education method dramatically? In this sense, what I would like to tell you is that, is it necessary for a student or for a person to start education, to start attending a school when he comes to 6 years old? From 6 years old till 40 years old. We are imprisoned in the modern buildings. We are not aware of the seasons are coming and going. What do we do all these education for? As a result, don't we want to get some skills, some qualifications for life? So, if the important point is to get some qualifications, is it necessary or is it compulsory to attend some institutions, some universities, some schools till 40 years old? I think we have to discuss this topic. We have been in this modern age. We have been wasting our energy and our, how can I say, spring time in these buildings. Instead of this, I recommend getting some certifications without attending a university or an institution or a school. We have to find a different alternative higher education method, and we have to maybe we have to think this topic in accordance with postmodern paradigms. So as a result, we cannot give up entrepreneurship mentality. If we want to canalize all our energies or all our resources, human resources or other natural resources into economic power, we have to improve entrepreneurship mentality and philosophy in our universities. That must be our mission statement, part of or dimension of our statement. Thank you very much. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question? I have lots of things to tell, but he is warning me. That's why. All right, thank you very much.
Professor İbicioğlu, let me not leave you go out of stage.